So, good morning, ma'am. So, I am Rhealen Herebese, and chapter 12, I will be discussing the Spanish-American War. So, um, the relationship between the Spain and the United States was become sour, and the Cuban Revolution had won sympathy of American because of the latter had big investment in Cuba, which they didn't want to be destroyed, and si Theodore Roosevelt want war in Spain so that the American Navy could expand pa. And then, so this Theodore Roosevelt is a Assistant Secretary of Navy, which is they are responsible for Navy civilization personnel on 1997. So Theodore Roosevelt, during his tenure, which the Navy, he developed contacts with noted naval strategies, planned feature strategies, and appointment George Dewey to command the Asiatic Squadron. So Roosevelt told Dewey to make Hong Kong and commanded of the 7 warship and United States Asiatic Squadron anchored off Hong Kong, and he was ordered to capture or destroy the Spanish Pacific Fleet. So, as Dewey was appointed of commander in Asiatic Squadron because it was deemed unwise to have there a man who could go to Manila if necessary. Roosevelt Roosevelt told Dewey, so when Roosevelt in Hong Kong, so he was ordered to capture destroyed Spanish Pacific Fleet, no. So after that, the USS so after that, on February 15, 1898, so the American battleship of USS Maine exploded at Havana Harbor in Cuba, which is Havana Harbor can kill 266 of 354 crew members. So on April 25, and 1898, the Congress of the United States formally declared war on Spain. So which naval blockage, which means those naval blockage, they can communicate even they are in the sea. So even they are sa ilalim ng dagat. So they are, kung baga sa atin sa lupa ay may signal. So ginagamit nila ang naval blockage to communicate even they are in the sea. The Battle of Manila Bay. So the Battle of Manila Bay, also known as the Battle of Cavite. So, it took place on May 1, 1898 during the Spanish-American War. The American Aquatic Squadron under the Commodore George Dewey, so engaged destroyed they are engaged destroyed. So as what the Spanish-American War. So they are engaged, destroy the Spanish squadron fleet. So under the command Contra Almirante, the commande of Admiral Patricio Montojo, their battle took place in Manila Bay in the Philippines and was the first major engagement of the American War. So ito yung the Battle of Manila Bay. Aguinaldo goes to Singapore. So Aguinaldo and his companion was exiled. So Aguinaldo and his companion felt that in the case of war, it would be a good opportunity for the Filipino to for the Spaniards from the Philippines. But, however, Aguinaldo was in trouble. So, Isaac Artaco purpose to Aguinaldo. So Isabelo is one of the plagiarists. So plagiarist means a person that they are use another person or words or even ideas as if they were his own. So kung baga nangungopya lang, di ba? Plagiarist or plagiarism. So Isabelo went to Hong Kong to demand Aguinaldo to divide the 400,000 indemnity, 400,000 money that was given by the colonial government to the rebels rather. So, but Aguinaldo did want money to be divided because he was thinking of the money it was used to buy arms and ammunition, mga armas at mga bala. So, and with which to fight the Spaniards, di ba? So, Artaco want to share money, kaya inutusan niya si Aguinaldo, pero si Aguinaldo inayawan niya si Isabelo because akala niya ibibili ito ng mga armas at mga bala. Pero ang alok ni Isabelo na sharing of money ay tinanggihan niya ito, 'di ba? Kaya nga gusto talaga niya na at akala niya na ibibili ito ng mga armas at mga bala. And tinanggihan niya ito para maiwasan ang mga skandalo. So, Aguinaldo leave Hong Kong because of the advice of Felipe Agoncillo. And Isabelo is siya ito ang plagiarism na nga, bayarang tao pa of the Spanish Embassy. So, siya ang nagbibigay o nagsampa ng kaso kay Aguinaldo dahil nga ay gusto niya na ihati-hati niya ang pera na 400,000. So, with the money divided among so many rebels, and Aguinaldo would not be able to buy arms and ammunition or bala. So, this was the strategy of the Spanish Embassy, but with the departure of Aguinaldo for Singapore, Isabelo court suit but did not materialistic. Or Chapter 13, Freedom and Independence, 1898 in 1899. So, the circumstances surrounding the declaration of the Philippine independence. So, in 1898, declaration of the Philippine independence, no? So, General Emilio Aguinaldo, the revolution's leader, so he declared the independence of Cavite. So, ending the more than 300 years of Spanish colonial and the Philippines Islands. In the following years, he was declared president of the republic under the Malolos constitutions, and then the constitution and for the government declaration of the Philippines independence were certainly not ideal. So the U.S. take over of Intramuros on August 13, 1898. In 1898. So, in this chapter, Emilio Aguinaldo, together with Mabini, they are the one na na-assign sa kanila ang mga mahihirap na gawain of uniting the educated and rich with the majority who were poor and uneducated people under the government worthy of international respect recognition. So, pero nga, naganap ito panandalian lamang. So, despite their opposition, failed and in the end found themselves behind the birth of premature Republic of the Philippines. The dictatorial government. Dictatorial government, form of government in which one person or small group possess absolute power without effective constitutional limitations. So, Consul Wildman, ito yung general sa Hong Kong kung saan siya ang may connection sa mga revolutionist. So, Aguinaldo was established the dictatorial government because of the same problem that they are experienced, like financing, pagkain para sa mga tao, pera sa mga reconstruction or building houses na nasira o igagawa pa lang, pati na rin ang mga highway. So, and then Aguinaldo convinced the government para isagawa ang mga kanilang mga problema. And then pinaprepare niya ang mga machinery para sa establishment ng dictatorial government sa tulong ni Ambrosio Rhealen. So, Aguinaldo was in Hong Kong and he was able to ask Mariano Ponce to prepare constitution that provide for a preparation form of government. When Aguinaldo returned to the Philippines, he was realized that it was time to organize the government as what Consul Wildman advised. So, Consul Wildman, they are the people o the person, a general, kung saan sila ang mga may connection sa mga revolutionist, di ba? Mabini enters the scene. He was, according to the informant, a bright young man who could be relied upon times of crisis. So, Mabini was brought before Aguinaldo in his office. He was thin and obviously sick. Ang kanyang sakit ay paralyzed from the waist down to his lower limbs. So, when Aguinaldo heard Mabini's voice, he was mild. So, Mabini's voice was firm. So, and had a deep conviction, and it had courage. So, the Declaration of Independence. So, the Philippines Declaration of Independence was proclaimed on June 12, 1898 in Cavite. So, with the public reading of a proclamation of independence of the Filipino people. So, the Filipino Revolutionary Forces under General Emilio Aguinaldo, so proclaimed the sovereignty and independence of Philippine Islands from the colonial rule of Spain. So, the event saw the unfurling of the flag of the Philippines made in Hong Kong by Marcela Agoncillo and Lorenza Agoncillo and Delfina Herebese, and the performance of the Marcha Filipino and the performance of Marcha Pilipina Magdalo at the national anthem known now as the Lupang Hinirang, which was composed by Julian Philippi and played by San Francisco and the Malabon Marching Band. So the declaration was signed by 98 people, among them United States Army officers who witnessed the proclamation of Mr. Johnson, described as a citizen of the USA, a colonial. Despite of his priority military experience, Johnson had no official role in the Philippines. Colonel Johnson attended to the ceremonies and Dewey's behalf. Johnson described, that's why Johnson described as the citizen of the USA, colonial of the artillery, despite of his prior military experience. Local government recognized. Mabini immediately prepared a decree for Aguinaldo's signature, in which stated that the first duty of the government is to interpret faithfully the will of the Filipino. And then Mabini prepared the decree of June 18, which provided for the organization of the government in provinces that were already taken from the Spaniards. The right to vote was given to the men, mga lalaki of high moral character and good standing in his community. They were the one who would elect the town head, the cabeza of each barrio, and the delegate for justice and civil registry, and delegate for taxes and property. And the town chief acted as a president of the assembly, and cabeza of the proclamation, the cabeza of poblacion of or town proper as the vice president, and the delegate for justice and the civil registry as the secretary. Mabini thought that there should be a revolutionary congress. That's why Mabini thought the revolution of the congress, diba? So to prepare for this, he included in the June of 18 decree a provision stating that each province should elect its delegates to Congress. The main function of the Congress was to propose measures concerning the provision of internal orders and internal and external security of this island. Administration of justice. In supplementary decree on June 20, Mabini provide the administration of justice in area under the Filipino government. The Spanish Penal Code was adopted except for those provisions which were the contrary to the decree of the Filipino government. Under the setup, the town chief was automatically assigned as the town judge. In criminal cases, the proper relating in a case had to be sent to the provincial council. In civil cases also, the decisions were made by popular council. All the decisions were to be considered temporary and may be changed by a court of higher jurisdiction. Next is the Revolutionary Congress. Upon the advice of Mabini, Aguinaldo changed the form of government from dictatorial to revolutionary. So, this took effect on June 23. So, the decree prepared by Mabini and changed the title of the chief of state from dictator to president. So, to help the president and his duty, so there are 4 departments were treated. First is Department of Foreign Affairs and Navy and Commerce, the Department of War and Public Works, the Department of Police and Internal Order. Third is Justice, Education, and Hygiene. Second is third is the Department of Police and International Order, Justice, Education, and Hygiene. So fourth is the Department of Finance, Agriculture, and Manufacturing Industry. So in June 23, also provided for the creation of Congress. So the province which could not hold any election for delegates to Congress because they were still under the Spaniards would be presented by appointed delegates to the Congress. So the Congress was not a law-making but an advisory one. So it would advise the president on matters. And pertaining to the organization of the Revolutionary Army and the raising of funds to support it, not just the huge statement, the welfare of the country.